best friend Jessica Mulroney will betray her. An inside exclusively notes
Likely broken her silence about her past friendship with Meghan, and now there's
Picture this, the echo of designer heels clicking through cold, empty corridors of fame. That chilling soundtrack? It's the opening to Meghan Markle's latest humiliation saga. And this time, it's not just public, it's personal. We're talking knife in the back, smile on the face, full-blown betrayal.
Daw says that Jessica herself traces her current unhappiness back not to that online scandal, but to the...
Enter Jessica Mulroney. Yes, that Jessica Mulroney, Meghan's former ride-or-die, stylist extraordinaire, Duchess Wrangler, and Canadian fairy godmother. She didn't just distance herself. Oh no, Jessica threw Meghan under a very public, very unforgiving bus, and then reversed over her, just for dramatic flair. If you've been tuning into the never-ending reality show that is Meghan Markle's public life, you already know Jessica wasn't just another friend. She was the friend. The woman who helped Meghan settle into Toronto life, introduced her to Canada's elite, stood by her as confidant and PR whisperer. They were so in sync it was almost eerie. Matching outfits, matching captions, matching ambitions. Their mutual social climbing game, Olympic level.
Meghan has her back in 2018. So much so that now, rather than looking back on that happily, Jessica now says, according to a source quote, that she's...
So when Jessica decided to flat out deny Meghan in public, jaws didn't just drop, they practically rocketed into space. Let's roll back the tape. Meghan, desperate to revive her fading social circle, allegedly reached out to Jessica. Why? Because after a series of career crashes, from the Spotify flop to the wine label faceplant to the canned cooking show, her brand was gasping for life. Insiders say Meghan wanted to rekindle that old sparkle, hoping Jessica would help restore her it-girl magic. But Jessica, she wasn't biting. Instead of slipping back into loyal bestie mode, she strutted straight to Instagram and dropped a cryptic quote that had gossip columns foaming at the mouth. Sometimes silence is the loudest rejection. No tags, no names, but the message might as well have been flashing in neon. This isn't 2016, Megs. You've changed. I've changed. We're done.
Couple, his mansion and his private jet is rocked by a shock new interview in The Hollywood Reporter by his sexual harassment accuser, who suggests he has been hiding his sexuality for years. So, when are we going to hear from Meghan Markle on Tyler Perry? Or is he going to join the Jessica Mulroney category?
And just to twist that metaphorical knife, Jessica's team confirmed she had no current relationship with Meghan. No involvement in her projects, no plans to reconnect. Translation, we're finished here. It was cold. It was final. And for Meghan, it was brutal. To get how deep this cut really goes, remember, Jessica helped craft Meghan's original glow-up. Back when Meghan was just a Suits actress snapping avocado toast and yoga selfies, Jessica was shaping her into a polished, paparazzi-ready brand, wholesome meets Hollywood, all wrapped in ambition. When Meghan leapt into royal life, Jessica was there, kids in the bridal party, her own face splashed across tabloids. But in 2020, the fairy tale cracked. Jessica got caught up in a racial microaggression scandal with Canadian influencer Sasha Exeter. The backlash was instant. Meghan, in the middle of ditching palace life for Montecito, allegedly cut Jessica loose. Publicly, harshly. And just like that, years of friendship turned into radio silence.
They were once inseparable, but a white privilege row saw the Duchess of Sussex cut her BFF off.
Now, karma's having her moment. Jessica took that hit quietly, stepped back from the spotlight, and rebuilt, brick by brick. She poured herself into family, fashion, and keeping a safe distance from Meghan's tabloid tornado. So when Meghan came crawling back, offering joint podcast ideas, lifestyle collabs, maybe even a Netflix reunion segment, Jessica didn't just decline. She flat out denied her, like biblical-level denial. Even Canadian morning shows picked up on the shade. One anchor smirked, Jessica Mulroney has gone quiet, but her silence speaks volumes. Fans flooded comment sections. Good for her, Meghan dropped her when she wasn't convenient. This is karma. Inside Meghan's camp, total meltdown. Sources say she was blindsided, humiliated, pacing in fury. She'd expected Jessica to welcome her back. No questions asked, but Jessica's not interested in being anyone's accessory, especially not for someone whose image screams tabloid trouble instead of timeless grace. People close to Jessica say she's done being a supporting character in Meghan's drama. She wants her narrative back, free of royal baggage. And honestly, Who can blame her? Meghan's brand is now more liability than asset. Every move she makes turns into a meme. Even that infamous South Park parody still lingers. Jessica's public snub wasn't just personal, it was strategic. In Hollywood, proximity to a PR disaster is almost as bad as causing one. And Meghan? Right now, she's a walking PR storm. But Jessica didn't just turn her down, she made sure the world saw it. That wasn't just no, that was, I don't need you. I don't even want to be seen with you. According to insiders, Meghan tried to do last-minute damage control, emails, calls, anything to stop the headlines. But it was too late. In the court of celebrity image, when your loyalists jump ship, the world notices. And Jessica didn't just leave, she torched the bridge on her way out. Just when Meghan thought the humiliation couldn't get worse, Jessica doubled down. During a panel interview for her fashion brand's relaunch, a journalist carefully danced around the topic of the Duchess of Sussex. You could feel the tension in the room. But Jessica? She didn't blink. When asked if Meghan had played any role in her business or rebrand, Jessica gave one crisp, cutting answer. No. No elaboration, no name drop, nothing. It was a surgical severing of ties, as if Meghan had never existed in her life at all. And let's be clear, this was Meghan's ride or die. Her stand-in maid of honor, her go-to stylist, her behind-the-scenes crisis whisperer when royal storms hit. To see Jessica now acting like Meghan was a stranger, it was a total social assassination. Then came the follow-up. Jessica added, "Sometimes you have to step away from what no longer aligns with your values." That single sentence? It slammed the lid on the coffin of their friendship. You could practically hear the nail being hammered in. Meghan's team went into overdrive. A source close to Meghan rushed to glossy outlets claiming she was shocked, deeply hurt, and blindsided. She never thought Jessica would throw her under the bus, but should she really be surprised? Because let's not rewrite history. Jessica was on the brink of cancellation back in 2020 after her public spat with Sasha Exeter. She was ripped from TV spots, lost brand deals, and went radio silent. And Meghan, the woman she hosted in Canada, the friend who helped her navigate British aristocracy, the one who allegedly opened her PR Rolodex for her? She stayed silent. No defense. No public support. Nothing. And now, karma's back, wearing stilettos and carrying a microphone. The public saw Jessica's rejection not as petty revenge, but as justice served. Long overdue. The loyal friend who bit her tongue for years finally spoke, and she didn't need to scream. Just one firm no in front of a crowd was louder than any palace balcony speech, and the internet noticed. Suddenly, other old friends of Meghan, those who'd been suspiciously quiet or mysteriously absent, started making moves, liking shady tweets, posting throwback pics with captions like, "Some friendships are seasonal and that's okay." Even a UK talk show host threw in a live TV jab. Funny, isn't it? The closer people get to Meghan, the faster they run in the other direction. For Meghan, this wasn't just personal heartbreak, it was professional quicksand. When your ex-best friend publicly labels you as toxic baggage, landing that next big lifestyle deal or keynote speech becomes nearly impossible. And the timing? Awful. This all hit right after Meghan's failed podcast rebrand. Her latest attempt to reinvent herself, this time as a cozy, organic lifestyle guru with American Riviera Orchard, landed with a thud. And now this public disavowal? It's ripped the curtain back, exposing how few genuine relationships Meghan still has. Even Tyler Perry, yes, the man who reportedly offered Meghan and Harry a Beverly Hills safe haven during Megxit, has been strangely silent. No Instagram love, no public shoutouts, just nothing. And in Hollywood, that silence? Deafening. The problem isn't just losing Jessica, it's what it looks like. Meghan's carefully crafted image of the empowered Duchess, wronged by the monarchy, misunderstood by the press, depended on a loyal, visible inner circle. When that circle starts crumbling and old allies go no comment, the underdog narrative starts to fall apart. What's left is someone who burned bridges so fast she didn't notice when they were the very ones holding her up. Naturally, Meghan's PR machine has gone into full emergency mode, soft focus Instagram posts, conveniently leaked supportive quotes from anonymous friends, and even a surprise appearance lined up at a female empowerment panel. But the public isn't buying it anymore. The endless reinventions, from Duchess to Hollywood actress to humanitarian to influencer and back again, are starting to feel more exhausting than inspiring. And the kicker, the people closest to her like Jessica Mulroney clearly aren't buying it either. Online reactions were savage. Jessica finally said what we were all thinking. She dodged a bullet. Meghan Markle's friends are dropping like flies. Hashtag #Meghan, who trended for nearly 18 hours. Even Piers Morgan, never one to pass up a Markle dig, called it a long overdue uncoupling from the most self-obsessed woman in showbiz. Sure, Meghan will probably spin this as another example of being punished for her ambition, of the world being cruel to independent women. But cracks in her narrative are widening. You can't champion loyalty and sisterhood while ghosting friends the second they stop being PR assets. You can't demand privacy while signing Netflix deals. And you can't preach compassion while dropping anyone who steps steps out of line. Jessica's rejection wasn't just a personal breakup, it was a public reckoning, a neon-lit reminder of Meghan's pattern: charm them, use them, drop them, then play the victim. But this time, the headlines aren't romanticizing the fallout, they're documenting the wreckage. Meghan's carefully stacked house of cards is swaying under the weight of public scrutiny, and Jessica didn't even need to write a tell-all to shake it. All it took was one word: no. And when your friends stop defending you, the world inevitably starts asking, why?